Message to Alexei and Leonid and their comrades in Moscow and the Donbas. My name is David Clennon. I'm a citizen of the United States of America. It would have been a great pleasure to be there with you today in the Russian Federation along with my good friend John Parker. Because I'm an actor by profession, it would have been the fulfillment of 55 years of imagining what it is like to be in the audience watching a play in the Moscow Art Theater. So I'm very disappointed that a crisis in my family forced me to cancel our trip to see you there in person. On February 24th, 2022, the Russian Federation began the special military operation. The purpose, as I understood it, was to protect the people of the Donbas and the ethnic Russian populations of Zaporozhye and Kherson. You all know the facts I'm recounting, but I think it is important for an American citizen, a loyal American citizen, to acknowledge these realities. The post-Maidan coup regime in Ukraine had been waging a war on the people of the Donbas since 2014. When Russia intervened, the Ukrainian regime could have halted their attack on the people there, but instead the regime and its US NATO backers chose to attack the intervening Russian forces and to escalate the conflict to full-scale war. Even now, the Russian Federation is exercising restraint. I do not believe that the Federation leadership wants to destroy Ukraine. The Russian military could do much, much more damage to the civilian infrastructure, and it could inflict many more casualties among the civilian population. But I believe the Russian military is staying true to its original mission, to demilitarize and to denazify Ukraine. The US and NATO are doing everything in their power to maintain Ukraine as their military base on the Russian border. They are supplying Ukraine with more weapons and more military training. And the US and NATO are engaged in another truly insidious activity. They are providing the armed forces of Ukraine with intelligence and targeting coordinates and real-time guidance in the operation of missile and artillery systems. NATO's goal is clear: to assist the Ukraine military to kill Russian soldiers, to defeat or weaken the armed forces of the Russian Federation, and to bring down the Russian government in Moscow. They call it regime change. The United States and NATO are clearly parties to this war, and they have prolonged the war in two ways. First, by ordering the Zelensky regime to withdraw from the negotiation process in April of 2022, and secondly, by making negotiating proposals that are unrealistic, unacceptable, and deeply cynical. Let me say now that the special military operation was, to my mind, fully justified. And let me say that I am ashamed and I am outraged that my government designed and engineered and manufactured the pre-war crisis in Ukraine. And finally, with its diplomatic intransigence and its obvious scorn for Russian security concerns, my government made this catastrophic conflict inevitable. The American people did not ask their government to provoke this war, but most of the American people have so far accepted their government's actions and their government's justifications. Why have they accepted this disastrous conflict? We, the American people, may be the most heavily indoctrinated people in the world today. The machinery of indoctrination in the United States today makes the propaganda machine in George Orwell's novel 1984 look crude and clumsy by comparison. American propaganda is our most successful product. American propaganda is a mixture of the brilliant advertising skills of Madison Avenue with the masterful image-making of Hollywood, combined with the sinister skills of the CIA in manufacturing stories that make a US-NATO war like this seem reasonable, honorable, and just. And the American mass media, the New York Times, MSNBC, and so many others, the news media convey and amplify and embellish the stories put forward by the White House and the US foreign policy establishment. And who are the principal targets of American propaganda? We are. We, the American people. And most of us would laugh at the idea that anyone could indoctrinate us. I wanted to join John Parker in this mission to the Russian Federation because I think the American Republic is in danger. The life of the American Republic is being sucked out of it by the American Empire. I believe the American Empire is strangling the Republic of the United States. And it seems to me that the people of the United States need Russia's help to defeat the American Empire. Many Americans believe in the great possibilities of a truly democratic republic. And those Americans have struggled to neutralize, to rein in, to end the American Empire with all its violence and all its cruelty and all its ruthless exploitation of the other peoples of our world. But we could not stop the empire's murderous plundering of the planet and its people. We tried during the Vietnam War. We tried during the terrible imperial proxy wars in Central America. We tried as our military forces invaded Afghanistan. We tried to stop the horrifying shock and awe invasion of Iraq. We could not stop the empire. In the 1990s, we failed to stop the empire's attack on the peoples of the former Yugoslavia. We failed to stop the empire's destruction of the government and the society of Libya, of Yemen, of Syria. That is why I appreciate the courage and the resolve of the people of the Russian Federation. Many of you may have seen the film Star Wars, The Empire Strikes Back. The Orange Revolution of 2004 and the Euromaidan coup of 2014 were scenes in a movie which could be called The American Empire Strikes Back. I strongly feel that you are helping us, the American people, to liberate ourselves from the American Empire. Our American Republic is cursed with bad leaders. Today's American leaders are members of a cult, the neoconservative political cult. Our leaders, the masters of the American Empire, are amoral, ignorant, and supremely incompetent. The United States unipolar world is bad for all of us. Russians, Americans, South Africans, Venezuelans, everyone except the masters of the unipolar global economy. We will see how this war plays out over the coming months and years. I believe the people of the world will ultimately benefit from Russia's courageous struggle against the planetary hegemony of the American Empire. Thank you for letting me share the thoughts of one ordinary citizen of the American Republic.